Hello, everyone. It is Steph. We are continuing our series on time management this month. And this week, I wanted to take a look at two things in particular. One is process and one is healthy boundaries. Even if we have a process for managing our time and accounting for our tasks, it usually gets compromised because we don't have healthy boundaries that help us to protect our time. Everyone that I help with time management, I can't emphasize enough. We don't set up a schedule that's etched into stone. It's not intended to be completely rigid. New information comes to us. We have to make decisions. We have to assess the priority of, if something needs to be kind of set off to the side or rescheduled to make room for something unforeseen. That's all very understandable. But what I'm really talking about with healthy boundaries is our difficulty in saying no. And I think that this is something that we are culturally conditioned to as service providers, that you must always be accessible and you must always get back to people within 30 minutes and you must always say yes in order to deliver good service, and the customer is always right. I think this is less of a struggle maybe for millennials, but it is deeply a part of, certainly for baby boomers, their work life, and certainly for Gen X. There's a lot of old echoes of that belief system there. And as a result, we set up a schedule and a strategy and a process for ourselves that we know makes the highest and best use of our time. And then we allow other people to crap all over it because we think that being supremely accommodating is our one and only value, or certainly maybe our highest value that we have to offer. And being accommodating and making things possible and saying yes, that's kind of part of our identity as service providers. And what I encourage everyone to really practice, and I've mentioned this in other videos, is the yes and conversation. Yes, I would be happy to help you, and I acknowledge that this is very important to you. And tomorrow at 3 is my first availability. Does that work for you? I think that sometimes when you present an option to someone, particularly if you first acknowledge that what they're asking of you has a sense of urgency, it's important to them. As long as you start by acknowledging that first, and then you offer a reasonable solution that does not destroy your schedule, in my experience, far more often than not, people are very agreeable to that. They actually don't want to cause you a lot of distress. At least maybe I'm very fortunate in the fact that I have awesome clients. They don't want me to rip my calendar apart. They just want to make sure that they're getting help in some kind of a timely manner because this is an important issue for them, which I respect. So some of this is just some very diplomatic training to get your clients to understand that they can't come at you hot with every single emergency that they have, and you're going to drop everything and turn yourself inside out in order to make that happen for them. So it takes a little bit of diplomatic explanation, and more than anything else, it takes grace and acceptance for yourself that you are worth preserving that hour to work on your own goals instead of dropping everything and stepping and fetching for somebody else. That doesn't make you a bad business owner. It doesn't make you a bad service provider. It makes you a strategic leader of your company. So if this is something that you're really struggling with figuring out, I know not everyone's clientele is as understanding and awesome as the folks that I get to work with. And you may be in an industry where setting those kinds of boundaries is very difficult. It might even cost you work, and I appreciate that. If that is the case, please feel free to reach out with me. There are some other strategies that I can help you implement with your calendar that will still preserve room for you to work on your own business and still have that flexibility that you need for your industry to accommodate your clients. So I hope that this is helpful. I hope that this has given you a little food for thought. And I will see you next week with my last tip on time management. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week.